All right, welcome back to the channel. Merced.
Season two,
man. This is our technically second race of season, first crit, the 4-5 field here, and this is my perspective. I'm Will, and we got Ben's perspective coming up later.
Yeah, we're gonna ride along on your first lap.
Yeah, we're gonna compare our first laps because I feel like the race is almost like dictated it in some ways in this first lap. It gets strung out.
Yeah, and this is a crit, but it's much more different than what we've seen before because it's just so technical. Positioning is so much more key than it was before.
Yeah, I mean everybody was just like, I've never had a start where like everybody was just full sprint right out of it
from the gun.
And so this course was worse than I thought. This ground sucked.
Yeah, no one really went into detail on the road conditions in videos, so we'll tell you right now, it looks a lot smoother on the GoPro than it does in real life.
Yeah, this was so sketchy, and I was just I think I found the absolute worst lines to take this actually.
Your first line wasn't bad, but you'll notice that there's a little bit of a more ideal line if you go center. But how are you going to go center when you're swarmed by all these riders? You're going to get forced offline.
Yeah, so this race, I could just tell right off the bat, I was like, oh man, I don't think this isn't my day.
That's like a rude awakening.
I was having such hard times keeping momentum and getting in anybody's draft.
And you can see here, like Will's fitness is much higher than it was in season 1, but this is going to be a war of attrition, and you're going to have to take risks to get there. So we're about to switch perspectives here. So this is the beginning of the race from my perspective. So yeah, first off, you should probably pay attention to Will's form this season. He's definitely gained some muscles in the rear.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you look like a thoroughbred horse. This is my lap, and I really wanted to move up, so I finally clipped in correctly. The last couple of races I've been chasing down packs because I don't know how to. So this time the goal is to get up to 10th wheel, ideally 5th to 10th before technical, and it doesn't happen. Everyone had the same idea.
It's crazy. I mean, it's single file top 15 right off the gun.
Yeah, everyone has the same idea. Just because, I mean, you can see the roads. You know you don't want to be fighting for the ideal line, and look at how badly I take this. I think you actually had a better first lap than me. I probably would have flatted if I hit that hole there, and all this is just too short because I don't have the room.
Yeah, that stuff sucked right there.
Yeah, right there. It doesn't look like much, but it's essentially gravel, and if you try to pedal through it, you can do it, but every time you feel like you're going to go down there, not a good place to get run over. Yeah. out of the center.
I mean, yeah, you were pushing a lot of energy too first lap. It was tough, man.
Yeah, I was just so overwhelmed. I didn't even turn my Garmin on, so the data is gonna pop up in a little bit. But trust me, this was fast.
Okay, so already off the back pretty far. It's so strung out.
Which wheel are you at right now? 30th?
Maybe. Yeah, I'm pretty far back.
How big was the field today? It was probably 40 riders.
I think there was 37 or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just strung out, and I'm just that was the line to take, the inside there. Ben did it a lot too, because you were kind of shielded, and dude, I was just making no moves. I was just moving backwards the whole race.
Yeah, the wind played. I mean, I didn't feel much wind through the race, but there was a definite difference in pace if you were taking the right side in that course. So from the start line, you can look at the wind is rolling from right to left, and yeah, oh man,
This is where I just did this so badly. You had to go inside, and like I just get gapped every single time.
And again, yeah, it's not fitness. It's like either you carry the speed or you have to suffer so much.
Yeah.
So this is just up ahead of the pack. I've moved my way into the top 10 wheels. And how does this look like compared to your experience? 2 different races,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's crazy that we were in the same race.
But you've got to give yourself credit because this was really sketchy, and I always come into it with like a win or die sort of like outlook, and in this race it just people were going down
Yeah.
for good reason.
Yeah, like I just can't stress how bad this ground gets.
Yeah, once you get that initial bump,
Yeah.
and you've got to realize that the GoPro is smoothing this out the best it can. This is horrible pavement. I would not want to ride over this pavement under normal situations.
Yeah, like seriously, like if this is just like a normal ride, like I'm just like coasting through here.
If this is a normal ride, I'm avoiding this road altogether.
Yeah.
Because it's just a matter of time. Watch, he's gonna do it though. So like everyone else who watches YouTube videos, Will and I watch the NorCal channel, and in one of his earlier videos, like 2 years ago, he was saying, just yell at other people to do work for you, and sometimes it'll work. So in this situation, it works. He brings me up. Good on you, man. And if he didn't do that work, I don't know if I could have done that work. You can't see the data, but I'm not feeling that good right now. This is super fast.
Yeah.
And good footage from
Sick.
Dad. Going artsy today. Yeah, but...
So, I mean, you were getting gapped too. I mean, it was just...
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy how much faster of a line you can take. And then he turns it on. So, I mean, look at this, like...
That's how off the back foot I was. I was just fighting to survive from the beginning.
Yeah, I know. There's like...
Look at this corner from your aspect. This is skipping forward a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe a lap.
Like, look at this. This is horrible right here.
But there's a guy to your inside.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you going to do?
The thing is like, I think, like, looking back on the footage, when you get into that, like, really bad ground, like, you have to prepare for that turn, but I felt like I was, like, my rear end was going to go out if I started leaning in on that bad pavement, so I just had to take it straight, and it was just, like, literally the worst lines, so...
The other thing, too, is that you don't want to be close to anyone else at all in that area. So if someone already has your inside, it's just... You don't want to facilitate a crash because there's no escape for the riders behind you. It's literally the worst place to have an accident. So, I don't know. I'll take sewer grade over collision any day.
Yeah,
look at this work.
Dude.
you would have been like dropped in the first lap, half of the first lap in last season. This is just impressive that you're still here. I mean, look at this pace.
I guess. Yeah, no, I kind of like thought it because like a lot is just like I don't know if I'm really getting a draft at this point.
No.
So I don't know. I mean, I feel like I don't know. I never really had that feeling of like, oh, I'm getting a draft now. Like it just always felt like there was always a gap. But I mean, that's on me. But I don't know.
Well, I have real big mixed feelings on this course because before skill and corner entry and all have been a factor, but really they haven't decided whether you survive or not. It kind of decides whether you have energy for sprinting or not.
Yeah.
But in this race, it was either you nail these lines and protect your space, or regardless of how strong you are, you're just screwed. Like, what are you gonna do? Sprint every lap? Because this would be a sprint for you right here.
Yeah, true. True, and I mean, this was hard for you though, and you were in good position.
Oh, yeah.
Like your heart rate's this is like max heart rate for you.
My max heart rate is like 182, and that's in a sprint. And today I got up to 184.
But you were in the 180s for a lot of it.
Yeah, I was in the 180s for a lot of it, even because I thought I was about as efficient as the next guy. I don't think anyone was more efficient than I was, or at least that much more. Oh man. and it was still just ridiculous.
Yeah. This is when the race starts falling apart for me. Like, and I don't know why I wasn't able to hold these wheels. Like, usually.
Probably because you were sprinting out of that previous corner after the technical section. Like, you used your energy there.
Yeah. It wouldn't really have mattered. I mean, the race, I'm so far back at this point.
Yeah, this is like a death by 1,000 cuts kind of situation.
Yeah, I've never really, like, I feel like some of these races, like, you can kind of just go to the back of the pack and do a couple laps. This was not one of them.
No, you're totally right. Like there's usually a wheel to hold on to here, but it's just line choice and preserving momentum. Oh,
and
no.
race is over.
Yeah, it's a brutal day.
That's not what. That's when I consider you're officially dropped, when the motorcycle goes past you.
Well, your mistake was not drafting off of the motorcycle. That was your...
I could have gone back in for sure. Yeah, now I just started taking this, like, I was like, okay, let's just, like, not get a flat tire. Which, yeah.
Yeah, so they were offering free laps, so it's better that you just preserve your energy and maybe have another chance. So when it comes to a line and whatnot, your line through that is good. Like, the middle is what you want.
See, I don't know why I still kind of went too straight there, though.
You have to start your turn really early, because your angle on the turn has to be very shallow, otherwise you're just going to fall. Well, I don't know. I felt like I was going to fall every time I turned the bike through.
You really just have to trust yourself. I guess I just wasn't trusting myself in this.
Or just be suicidal. It was just dumb. It felt dumb every time we went through there. Like, why isn't it paved? Why wasn't the gravel taken away? Why is this a normal race? Because if they just paved it would have been better. Oh, shoot.
Yeah, race is over. Like, they just started pulling riders, and yeah.
You do get a restart, though.
Yeah, you got, like, thrown back in, but I was like, damn.
Yeah. So Will gets tossed back into the race. So we're skipping forward, and this is the lead group. So I'm like 7th or 8th. We're starting to catch lapped riders. Those are the riders that you see in front.
We get pulled back. Like, we get a free lap, if you will. Not a free lap. I mean, we're like, I don't even know how you score that. But.
Yeah. So I noticed this. I know the technical section. I know they're going to be slower in the technical. So I attack here to try to use them. Yeah, as like a barricade.
Yeah, and so, like, Ben's actually going to pass me. This is just a bunch of lap riders on Ben's lap. Ben's like, you're first place.
Will and the teal right there.
You're in first place, so you just, like, smoke by us, bro.
I knew that this was a closing door, and if I expended more energy here, I mean, it might be a race-deciding move. If I can put a big enough gap, like 10, 15 seconds to the technical, and if there are more restarted riders up ahead I can draft off of, which you'll see those two guys ahead are restarted.
Yeah. The GPS got confused there too. I don't know.
Oh yeah, the GPS is always going to mess up in that corner, so don't worry about speed. It's about what you'd imagine it to be. So, what's going on with you?
No, this is just a replay of Ben. Like, look how much faster Ben passed us, dude.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Ben was like, I'm going to win the race right now. Like,
that was the best opportunity that I saw so far, because I didn't know how many restarted riders would be ahead. And I was like, if I can catch a draft, I'll catch a draft.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to go as wide as possible. I thought the peloton was right behind Ben.
Oh, no. This is great. No.
I mean, actually, I carried more speed through there than usual.
Well, you held that guy's wheel.
I'm just trying to go wide and get away from everybody.
Good entry. And you also have to realize on this corner, you're sheltered on the left side. So...
No, the right.
Well, if the wind is moving right to left. So if you move in closer to these cyclists, you're actually receiving a lot of shelter. But it's probably better you stay out because there's such a speed differential right here.
Yeah, I was just going to try a tail gun the rest of the race.
Tough. But yeah, that's the lead group, so you aren't even really racing these guys, I don't think.
No, that's why I was trying to get out of the way.
Yeah. So I catch up to these other restarted riders, and that's a crazy cadence.
Yeah, that's the cadence you're going to have later today.
Oh yeah, spoiler alert, but Like, I think this was my highest cadence effort ever. It was coconuts.
High cadence training.
Yeah, through a situation. But anyway, yeah. So at this point, I'm kind of sitting up. Like, I'm still putting in effort. You can see like my heart rate's ridiculous, but I'm not gonna pass these guys. I'm just gonna wait for the peloton to like freak out and chase me. And if they don't chase me and I can keep this distance, I mean, who knows what could happen? It could be the race.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't gonna TT.
He's literally lapped, bro.
I know he's lapped, but he's racing him. I'm not racing him. Yeah, he tells me to chase him, so I do. But I mean, I'll yell at someone in a race, not to be a dick, but because at the end of the day, sometimes it works. You saw it worked earlier. It did not work.
I just say that dude is a complete different race than you are, but that's literally.
He was having none of it.
You're literally lapping people, like tactically lapping people. But wait, that guy was lapped too, right, from you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, both of these guys are lapped. So the guy ahead, I didn't want to chase down at first, but I also didn't want to be stuck with the guy before because he's a sinking ship. Mm-hmm. So if I just stayed behind him, I would lose pace. So I expend effort, and yeah, this guy's doing really well overall. Where are you right here? Are you okay?
I have no idea where I'm at. I think I was just going super slow at this time. I didn't realize you were this. The peloton's not behind you, is it? Like you were broken away? Damn.
No, I had broken away at this point. We're gonna go back to your perspective, and well, as you saw, the peloton passed you, and they were chasing me. So they're coming up on me around here. I think I actually see someone in this corner pop up. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, so you're already at the corner pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just this is the very back. I'm already lapped and stuff. This is the very back of the peloton. I was just like, I just didn't want to get anybody's way.
Yeah.
And if I could finish, that would have been cool, but.
Yeah. So how are you feeling right now? Like your heart rate is pegged.
Yeah, it's pretty high too.
Did you even feel tired, or were you just so caught up in adrenaline that it just felt, I don't know, normal?
No, I mean, it hurt, because like Ben and I are just like notoriously bad at warming up.
Oh, no.
Dude, every line is horrible.
You gotta go on your inside.
I feel like I just needed like to take a slow like pre-lap around this course.
Yeah, but there were races before. I mean, I warmed up for a few minutes, but there's just rarely that amount of time.
Yeah, because we get there so late.
Yeah. I want to be honest about my attempts to pass the lapped riders. I don't really think it was worth the effort looking back on it this time. Mm-hmm. But if, for example, like the faster group was passing a lapped rider and there was a collision and everyone went down, I mean,
it was still pretty early on. This is like maybe 10 minutes into the race at this point. I don't know.
Yeah, it was an early move, but I came into this and I just felt that this is the sort of race where you want to act instead of react, because when you react, bad things happen, and you'll see that 3 times in this race. Yeah, get that wheel.
I don't know.
See how fast he passes that guy. Oh my gosh.
Dude, yeah. I don't even know who's lapped and who's not at this point, honestly.
Man, I'm really impressed at your pace overall, though, because like if you could just go back, I don't know, like 6 months, and do this same race, it would not have gone this well.
Yeah.
I know it was still tough, but like this is the toughest crit I've ever done. That was a good line. That right there. It's that exit that's tough because of the gravel. Yeah.
Like right. Did I get the pinch here? I can't even remember.
I'm
pretty sure I did.
If I hear air or not.
Yeah, I ended up getting like a pinch. Oh yeah, I totally did hear. Right?
Yeah, I think that's the race, right?
Yeah, I got a pinch flat on there, which is like the least unsurprising thing. I was like, I was like, there's
Dude,
no way
I
this
got
is
a
going to
flat
get
Sound
to.
relieved?
Yeah, I mean, the race is over.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I flatted out. Not that I was even competitive at all.
Well,
but,
here's
like,
me at the front of the race,
Yeah.
and you know what? I think you got the better end of the deal. You can just watch this and see what happens.
Fucking dumbass. No, I'm playing. I got a free lap. I was in the front group. I still have a free go.
We'll put you back in the front group. As long as your bike's okay and you're okay.
Yeah.
Okay, hurry up and do that. Okay, the rider okay. Do that at the pit, please.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You better work. Fuck. Yeah, fine. Thanks.
So you gotta protect your front wheel. Do you know what that means?
Yeah, I understand what it means. Can I go back in?
Yeah, you will. Next time.
Okay.
It's fine.
Did you crush too?
I fought it out, bro. No, bummer.
Good. Okay, thanks.
Get in a good gear for.
I'm like an empowered single mom.
And you're sure you feel okay? Your bike's okay, right?
It's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
I was in the front group. Do I get to like rejoin? How does this work?
Where
Am
were
I
you?
back?
Where were you?
Fifth wheel.
Fifth wheel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're back.
Dude.
Dude, the bike is. I'm sorry, but the bike is fucked.
I'm just gonna say this, like, not to spoil, but Ben still does good, and he races the rest of the race in his small ring.
Yeah, so I shifted into the big and then it immediately went into the small. I didn't know this. I just thought that the bike wouldn't shift that well, but that's because I was in small ring and like the last two cogs you have at the back. So,
I mean, like, Ben's about to like average like 120 RPM cadence the rest of the race.
yeah, the rest of this race was pretty coconuts. Yeah, I was pretty pissed off if you couldn't get that from how I spoke. I'm sorry about the language, but I'm actually still angry. I think that was avoidable. Yeah, I'm off my game. At this point I'm thinking about retiring.
Yeah, I mean, you were genuinely like, I don't think the bike's gonna work, right?
Yeah, you can hear the brake rub. The front wheel is like moving laterally like by an inch. Like one of the spokes was completely destroyed, like all bent up.
I mean, you can see how angled your handlebars are too. It's insane. Thing got beat up.
The rear wheel was rubbing too, and again it was barely shifting because I didn't have my big gear anymore. So I'm in the small, like the 38. So if you ever wanted to know whether you could run a crit on your little ring, this is what it looks like. It looks just like this.
If you have Ben's legs. Yeah.
Man, this felt so sketchy because I didn't know that the front wheel was messed up. I thought it was the rear, but going to these corners, it just felt different, and I didn't have the confidence I had before.
So did the crash? Explain your point of view on the crash, Ben.
I don't think it was my fault. You can go back and do it in slow motion. Yeah, I mean, sure, like, if you have a time machine, maybe I could go back and do one little thing different. But basically, the two cyclists scissored my front wheel. I didn't have a right or a left to go to. I don't know why the pace slowed down as they both merged. Yeah, so anyway, I'm still upset. and I'm gonna be upset for at least another week.
Yeah.
What do you think, Will? Would you have done something differently?
I don't ride like you do, bro. I mean,
Yeah,
You were riding
I
pretty
take a lot
aggressive.
of unnecessary risks. This is true.
you were riding pretty aggressive, but I mean that's why you were doing so good. I love that move, like stuff like that. Like damn.
I was like that right there is more my mistake. Like just placement like that. I didn't really see it as a dangerous situation when I went down. I mean, it was very chill up until the point that I was sliding on my ass on the pavement. Yeah. Anyway, so the rest of this race is just gonna be me fighting to survive, and it works out fine. It's entertaining to watch, but why don't we just give a summary of what this race is? Do you recommend Merced?
I can't say I'm gonna do this again next year, honestly. Like, the course just, dude, it was just like, I'm like, cycling's already expensive as it is. I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna break something. Like,
I feel like I paid money to get my ass beaten, to get my clothing ripped to shreds, to get my bike just battered. Like I paid money for that. I drove 3 hours for that, and like okay, like that's how racing is, and maybe it's a very negative way to look at it, but I like this course. I have very mixed feelings about this. I thought that skill takes you very far here. Like you can have a lot of fitness, as you saw, but if you are not hitting the corners correctly, you're gonna have a bad time. I like that. I like courses that aren't forgiving, but they need to repave this. Like it's just hazardous.
yeah, I agree. Like, there's nothing wrong with the course itself. It's just the roads. That's all it is.
I like the layout.
Yeah.
I really do. It's just like how much money does it take to fill some potholes and to like literally take a broom or a scoop and take out the gravel? I mean,
yeah.
I'm sure it costs money, but at the same time, so does reconstructive surgery. So you heard it here because we did not see it on any other videos. I think I read it on a forum. The roads are shit.
Yeah, it is doable, but it's like, I don't know. You gotta want it, I think.
I've never regretted racing before. I've never regretted a bike ride. And I'm not saying that I regret this ride because, I mean, I'll remember it, that's for sure. And maybe a lesson that I learned in this race will save me in the future. But I'm very close to regretting this race. Like, maybe tomorrow I'll regret the race. There's a possibility of that.
Go get him, Ben!
Oh, I was pissed.
Yeah, dude, Ben was like in his zone.
That's the sort of position only angry people can take. Yeah, so if you're considering this, like if you're watching this a year later and you're figuring out whether to race or not, if you like taking risks and you don't have an issue there, then go ahead and go wild. But if you're a reasonable person, like Will, you're more reasonable than I am. You were relieved for this to be over, right?
Yeah, this wasn't for me, this one, but it's crazy because like this was like the first race I found myself like looking down at the ground. Like that was like I was fighting that too, you know?
Yeah, you can't do both.
Yeah.
But it's just like there's just so many hazards here. So many hazards.
But yeah, I know.
Yeah.
This didn't like turn me off from Criterium, so like I'm gonna do another one.
Yeah, I still like crits. It's just like road condition. It's risky enough as it is. It's another risk adding on to a sport that's already just like on the borderline of something that you should be doing. I mean, really, like our next video is a road race, and we did not fear for our lives in that video. You can race and still be pretty certain you're going to make it out in one piece.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that UCLA road race day, dude, there was like one crash the whole day, and this race alone had like 3.
Yeah, so you see mine. That's the first one that I know of in this race.
Which it was just you, right? Nobody else went down.
Yeah, it was just me.
Yeah.
Thankfully, because there was a gap behind me, you know, I didn't get hit by anyone. I think my front wheel got run over or got tangled in someone, but it didn't result in anything. But but that was the first crash of the race. There's another one coming up, and I think we're gonna bow out until that crash, right? So watch the timestamp if you want to skip ahead. If not, it's just gonna be intense racing up to that point.
Okay, so we're back. We've got about 5 to go, and you should keep your eye on the guy with the white helmet, white socks to my left. Just see whether he does anything wrong. This was like your worst fear, right, Will?
I guess, yeah. I mean, we still don't really know what happened, but you pretty much just went down.
I just think that when you're riding over so many bumps, I mean, who knows what he rode over? A leaf or anything could really do it.
Yeah, the bike, like you said, the bike's just upset and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, road bikes don't have suspension. Yeah, they're not made for this. And again, that just to drive that point home, that could have been user error, or maybe he just went offline a little bit and he hit something weird. But I just felt like that back half could have been made a lot safer. Yeah, so now we're about 4 to go. Things are heating up. Some flyers are happening. I'm not going to react to any of this stuff. At this point, you're having much more fun than me, right?
Yeah, I'm just like on the sideline. But, man, this thing looks sketchy just from the sideline.
It's a fast race.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing to say about that. And then how this corner, it goes into like a much skinnier road. There's just no real runoff at all. But yeah, hopefully that guy's okay. So if you're keeping count, that's 2 out of 3 crashes, and it just gets more and more dangerous as we go.
See, it's like you took like pretty inside there. I don't know.
You want to get close to the curb, because you're just trying to run as straight a line as you can, like maintaining that momentum. I took this really bad. Every time I went and I took that right, I felt like I was going to lose the rear end. And
yeah, like your wheels hopping and stuff.
I got a lot of wheel hop, and you just feel the gravel there. You don't want to pedal through it, but it's either that or you get dropped. You might have been better off just getting out of there. Oh, shoot.
There's the third wreck.
Yeah, on a straight.
Lap of overlapping the wheels, I guess.
Yeah, and everyone here is seeing double because it's just...
It's like corner sprint, corner sprint.
Corner sprint, corner sprint. You're at the end of 45 minutes, everyone's tired, and those are the kind of mistakes that get made.
So this is 3 to go now.
Yeah. You can always tell that because the peloton slows down. People start playing chicken over who goes first, setting up. Where would you want to be if you were towards the end of this race?
Probably like right now, probably where you are. I mean, you're in pretty good position here.
Yeah, at this point I didn't have any real illusions over winning because I had no confidence in shifting
In the sprint and stuff.
Yeah, in the sprint, like I didn't really have a top speed anymore, and I didn't feel great. My ass was on fire. And you can't really see the glove, but my glove is tattered. My hand was just really hurting. I slid on that for a while. But I still thought if I had the positioning right, who knows what could happen. That was sketch. Yeah.
See, you had to sprint out of that just to stay up.
It's just every time. I talk a lot when I race, and like you're right, I race really aggressive, and I'm not going to defend that and say it's necessary. I mean, I think I make mistakes, but I try to talk a lot to let people know where I'm at, and I think that has saved me from a lot of suffering. I mean, who knows? Parallel universe Ben. Probably a paraplegic. That's a tough race.
So this is 2 to go now, right?
Yeah, this is 2 to go. Daring that guy in the orange to take me out again. I kind of forgot. I forgot who I had the incident with, so I wasn't.
Yeah, you barely saw him. Like, you just went down probably immediately.
Yeah, at this point, it's just like I just accepted the possibility that I was going to fall again.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt tired. I didn't really feel that scared. I wanted it to be over, and I was upset. But I just felt kind of desensitized to this whole thing at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I should have taken a little bit more risk coming into this, though, because you can see the peloton stretching out. Like, if I'm gonna launch a low gear sprint, like,
Mm-hmm.
it would have been better off to do it earlier.
Yeah, so there's a couple people off the front there, I guess, but
Yeah.
they're gonna get pulled in.
Yeah, but really, like, I should be putting out effort on the left side to position myself for the last lap, because you don't want to move up those positions in a technical section when everyone's vying for the same thing. It needs to happen now, and I'm not making that move, and this is where I lost the race. Not to say that I had a huge chance of winning, but, like, this is the part I would do differently. I do try to move up, but it's already kind of too late here.
I
Just
mean,
a lot of risk.
you can only do so much in your small ring.
I should be moving up here though. Like he's about to block it, but like
Yeah.
I could have moved up here and been a little more proactive.
I mean, that would have been sketchy.
Yeah, it would have been sketchy, but I mean, there's some room there on the right, at least for a point. And look, I start to do something like that, but it's too late, and the conditions suck out here. There's one line.
Yeah.
So I'm about 10 wheels back right here. Time machine, I would be 5 wheels back. Totally change that.
You took back it.
Oh yeah, I was at my best line. But that's because I just decided to risk it that time. Shift up. Shift up and hold 30 around here? Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I needed more. I went too wide.
Look at this sprint. Look at this. I mean, you can't even stand, really. Like, that's insane.
I'm so pissed off.
That is insane, bro. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think the cadence thing got messed up. But, yeah, you can just look at that. They gave me P10. I swear I got P9.
Yeah, it was a photo finish.
Yeah, I picked that guy at the line, totally.
You and the race director, he probably did you dirty.
Whatever. Prey on my enemies. Nah, anyway.
I mean, for all things considered, bro, that was pretty damn good.
Yeah, I mean.
Almost wrecked it.
Alright, well, we'll see you guys in the next one. Hope you enjoyed.
Good job, Ben.